Hi, I'm Amelia Olivas, and this is Boone the steer, and I am doing my bacteria on Ruminococcus flavefaciens. This bacteria affects mostly animals, so let me give some background information. The bacteria lives in animals that digest mostly forages, like horses, cows, and pig. Cattle have a stomach called a ruminant stomach. It's a stomach that has 4 compartments in one stomach, and it has one big compartment right here called the rumen. The rumen has lots of microbes to help digest the hay and feed. And one of those microbes is the Ruminococcus flavefaciens that lives in its gut and other horses, cows, and pigs' guts. When talking about the discovery of the Ruminococcus bacteria, one man named Robert Hungate in 1947 thought that there was bacteria in the stomach, but he couldn't figure out which. Then, another man named A. Karsteinstein discovered 2 types of bacteria, and one of them was the Ruminococcus flavefaciens in 1951. He cultured it with agar and a strip of filter paper, though he wasn't able to get a good enough culture from it because it was very hard to culture. He named it Ruminococcus flavefaciens because it was a streptococcus bacteria-like bacteria that lived in the ruminant that broke down cellulose. This is Buck. And when talking about the sterile techniques needed for the Ruminococcus flavefaciens, there is no danger to humans whatsoever. So it is at a biosafety lab level 1, meaning that you don't need any respirator or don't need to exercise much caution, but you should use gloves, lab coats, and goggles when needed. So this respirator is not needed. When talking about the bacteria itself, it is an anaerobic bacteria that is circular shaped. When tested with a gram stain, it turns out purple, so it is gram positive. And when tested with the McConkey test, it also turns out gram positive, and no growth is shown. Now, some other Ruminococcus bacteria do show up bubbles on the catalase test, which mean they do produce catalase. But there's been no shown signs for the Ruminococcus bacteria out of the research I studied. The bacteria poses no threats to humans or animals, so there's no current methods of controlling its growth. Although it's not very useful to humans, it is absolutely essential for animals like Boone here. The bacteria uses an enzyme called cellulosome to break down cellulose and hemicellulose in the plant and feed materials. So without that bacteria, the ruminants would not be able to digest the feed they eat every day. If we didn't have the bacteria Ruminococcus flavefaciens, then we wouldn't have ruminants or any other animals that eat primarily hay and other plant materials, like Boone.